to uh, not just the side of protesting or pushing back uh, visibly with a group of people that were willing to do the same. But we felt like we wanted to engage on the organizing and education end right now because a lot of people since 2024 they still feel like, oh, I made a decision because I felt a stimulus check was about to come my way.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Donald Trump gave me a stimulus check. I
yeah.
figured he'd do it again. Well, the big beautiful bill was passed, $4 trillion impacting our nation's budget
Hmm.
and debt,
Hmm.
and that the priority of a stimulus check for hardworking Americans wasn't in there. Right? That was not. You weren't on that list. Now, tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country,
Yeah.
the biggest wealth transfer in the
Ding
history of this
ding.
country, that happened. They were on that list. They
Yep.
were prioritized.
Yep.
But for the people that felt like they expected, that there would be this investment in working people. And I think that is the conversation that we have to have. We know that we have to invest into the things that hardworking families need right now because they are not getting ahead. They are not getting any assistance to keep up with the cost of living right now. That is the focus that we have to have an ultra focus on right now. And it's just very clear. People are called to different parts of this space. People are
Hmm.
called to different parts of this movement. And, I think we all get better because of it.
Yeah.
Um, but 7 million people is nothing to sneeze at.
Mm.
That's a big base of people, and where they go from here is, I would say, you got to dig deeper. There were a number of folks that still believed in these other notions that you were out there, and I'm gonna ask you when you were having these conversations with folks to engage them around voting and
Hmm.
registering to vote.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were a lot of notions where they might not be willing to go protest, but they're suffering from these issues and they're not feeling like anybody's addressing them. So, how do they make their decision on the value of their vote and who they should support?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a lot of folks just feeling no connection as always, and I think that's why the way that y'all were at Running Rebels and really talking to the families and really trying to spread the message. That the biggest thing that I was trying to do was just like spread this does impact you, and the ones that now when we were out here or last year when we were pleading, hey, pay attention to what's going on, understand the voting rights and civic engagement. Now it's a different tone in the conversation with some of the people that were screaming certain things before. Now they've been humbled a little bit because I guess some, especially younger adults, they feel like this, I've never seen it happen before, so maybe this is just people just talking mess. It can't impact millions, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, but yes it can, as you can see. For the ones that are receiving any SNAP benefits, state benefits, housing benefits, I mean the list goes
Mm-hmm.
on and on. I mean it's the little intricate things that we're not even thinking about that's been impacted. And even how just some companies may feel like they can move now that they have a little more wiggle room with this administration, and they feel like they could take away certain where programs, opportunities, which we've seen, whether it's a DEI program or
Mm-hmm.
hey, let's help kids learn how to driver's ed, a free driver's ed program. All these things are impacted across the country, and especially in our Black communities that use these benefits to get to the next step. And when that money has been pulled away, or companies have to pull that money away to use it in other spaces because of federal funding that was coming that might not come. Yes, it's really impacting us. So I think
Mm-hmm.
this is that continued knowledge. I can always stress that continued knowledge, that continued civic engagement, because as we know, things change hour by hour. So
Mm-hmm.
it'd be some stuff that's going on right now, and by the time we look at something like, man, you see what was going on when we hit the news. That's why it's always, I know it hurts to learn some of this stuff, y'all, because you have to take so much in, but you know, it's important to be impactful, especially as a leader in your family, whether you're the matriarch, the patriarch, or the soon to be of any of those spaces. You definitely want to make sure that you are, setting the tone for your family so they know what's going on in education, especially civic engagement. And yeah. So yeah, that's it. We got about 2-3 more minutes before we take this first break, or about 3 more minutes before we take this first break. All right. Outside of that, what are some things that um some of the organizations, like some of the conversations that y'all just had at Running Rebels, what were some of the concerning responses that you seen that you might have picked out from that group? Because I know
some good questions
yeah,
about
probably have some good
the
stuff coming
power
out.
of like supporting young people.
Okay.
How do we support young people the best, or what positions them the best to believe that they can have a place in our community of making decisions and leading, even running for office, right? There were big questions on the shutdown. We're entering day 20, right, of the shutdown. We get past tomorrow and we hit Tuesday. That's the 4th week of the shutdown that threatens the benefits and the resource that people rely on to be able to take care of themselves. You got those dynamics where people were very much trying to understand, like, how does that affect me? How does a shutdown, if I'm just trying to understand, like, what happens if the federal government isn't open? So your TSA agents, if you have to travel, you're putting them under very much stress. They still have to come to work. Folks in those control towers at Mitchell International Airport, trying to make sure your flight lands safely or takes off safely. The folks in the Department of Labor that have to do the statistics around how many jobs are being created or lost, and some of the reporting out on different things. Your USDA workers that have to do the food inspections on the meat that you eat, the different things that you are consuming. These are all the intricate things that are affecting your everyday life that you might not just pay attention that much to. But these are people's lives. Those are mortgages. Those are rents that can't be paid. Those are healthcare bills that are threatened. There was a really good exchange with Speaker Johnson and the mother of military member, children of a military family, and she's saying, if my husband doesn't get paid, we can't pay the bills for the health care that our children rely on. And they're very much in a position of being dependent on significant healthcare needs. And I know these things sometimes get shooed under the rug, but you have to really highlight these stories and highlight the impact.
No,
so
it's highly important.
So it was cool to have that conversation at Running Rebels. And young people were shy, but they also understand, like, the cost of things going up. That's easy to understand when snacks don't cost the same, shoes for school don't cost the same. Young people pay attention to the price of Jordans, and then when it goes up, they're like, huh, like,
really feel it when they go
last
get that
time
new
I
cell
had to pay
phone.
$160. Now it's what is how much?
The
right?
new cell phone's gonna be almost $2,000 now.
Yeah.
Parts, getting them little pieces, the smallest little parts. They gonna have to pay for it. Mama, well, I got this phone 2-3 years now. Tariffs and inflation. You can't get you a new phone yet.
There you go. There you go. So a lot of questions, and we were just trying to provide answers. And misinformation was a big one because people are relying on uncredible sources to get information. So they were like, well, where do we go to get that information? Those were really good questions where we're connecting them to community-based organizations that are having these conversations with elected official offices and government departments where they can get that information. Think tanks that are out there that you can, credible ones that you can get that information. And not just, those random AI videos with that weird voice that's just talking and they're just saying stuff. Just really getting folks to think critically. Very valuable.
Hitting the real news sources. You're right.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate y'all for doing that. Thanks. And that's just something that the team, Wisconsin Voices, Running Rebels, and people in Milwaukee just got to continue to do to keep this energy flowing into 2026, as I say, and beyond. So it looked like we got a break coming up. Jermaine, we good to go? Shout out to Jermaine and Debo in the studio. All right, y'all. Bryan and David, Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. We'll be right back with our guests, continuing off our breast cancer awareness interviews and advocates in the city doing their things. We'll be back in a second. So
All
welcome
right.
back.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. We're back here with our guests, and we back on cam, huh? We got a little video.
We got a little video.
Got a little video. I hope y'all people are tuning in. If not, you're gonna have to have them replay it for later on. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So we've been doing, and I just wanted to make it as important as a topic for the month of October is just our breast cancer awareness and just making sure that Wisconsin Voices is showing that we are advocates, and this is so important to all of us in the world. But all of our mothers and aunts and uncles, our aunts, uncles too, grannies, and everybody in between that have been impacted. We had one of my cousins on last week who had went through I believe it was like a double mastectomy, and her and her sisters, my other cousins. But
Just
just
Attorney Adams.
Yep, attorney Sheila Adams Gardner. Yep,
Adams Gardner.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, and she was just telling us about her whole process. So I want to make sure, as I know you personally, and I'm just getting to know you as well, and I'm glad that you two know each other, which is even was a great space for an interview. I just want to hear about y'all, but before we get to that, just want to make sure that we give y'all the floor with some proper bios. So I'm gonna go, since I got you right here, Cynthia. I'm gonna go first over here, and then we'll slide over to Ms. Kashima if that's fine. David, did you have anything you wanted to say before we get into?
No, let's dive into the bios.
Okay, let's do it. So first is Miss Cynthia Hooker from Cynthia's Breast Cancer Giving Circle Incorporated. Cynthia overcame her battle with breast cancer twice in 2007 and 2009. Both times she encountered extensive treatment plan and obtained a large amount of medical debt while trying to keep her focus on healing. During this time, she recognized a lack of financial resources available to cancer patients. As a result of this adversity, her giving spirit desired to establish an organization that would help others. CBCGC is operated by a group of caring volunteers who understand that a financial strain can hinder the healing process while being treated for cancer. Therefore, CBCGC aims to ease the strain and offer hope. So we want to thank Miss Cynthia Hooker for coming to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having
I
me.
appreciate you for getting back to me, because I was like, I know it was out the blue. I was just like, oh, who's this? Boop. I just hit you up, and then she's
That
like,
was
who's this?
That was fine.
But thank you. I really
I
appreciate that.
appreciate you reaching out.
It makes it fun doing this work, especially doing a radio side when people actually get back to you. So thank you for being more responsive than some other people I've tried to. No shade to y'all who ain't got back to me. It is what it is, but some people are just more responsive. So thank you.
Yeah, that's how I take it. That like sometimes they don't have the nerves.
Yeah.
On the radio.
I think I was telling you one time when we having a work one-on-one meeting, I was like, man, some people just don't get back to me. Like, and I know for people like us that are so used to kind of being in the mix or being in the front sometime, it's just easy for us to do it, but some folks have to really be playing in their head like, man, should I go on the show with them? And we're not going to get on here and attack you. We just want to make sure that you getting the best interview and promoting who you are. Next, we have Miss Kashima Johnson. Our guest today is the true force of inspiration. She's a resilient 12-year breast cancer survivor who turned her personal journey through stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma. Look, don't laugh at me. I know. Carcinoma, chemo, and radiation into a powerful mission. She's the founder of the nonprofit Pink Punchers, where she has educated thousands on breast health. She's a member of After Breast Cancer Diagnosis and a conversation leader for Susan G. Komen. All right, please welcome survivor, advocate, and founder of Pink Punchers, Kashima Johnson. What's up, Shima?
Good morning.
Shima.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good morning to you both, and thank you for making time to join us today. We know that your journey is very much tied into your health history and that whole process. Give us a sense of what made that turn into advocacy, of making the turn of saying, I need to devote my time, energy, and resource to advocating for others.
Well, for myself, the first diagnosis was in 2007, and I noticed as a result of me going through it that there was a lack of financial resources. I was working in corporate America at that time. It might have been close to 25 years. I've since then have retired. It's a total of 35 years. And I noticed that even though I was receiving benefits from my job, I was limited because I had complications. I had congestive heart failure as a result of some of the chemos that I was taking. So I researched to see what was out there and what was available. And for myself, I was told that I didn't qualify. So that kind of stirred up something because I had a need.
Okay.
Even though I was on paper working, I still was not receiving my full pay. So I was on disability. And mind you, I was off of work for a year, battling not only my cancer diagnosis, but also congestive heart failure. So as a result of that, I found out that I didn't qualify. I was put into a box. You know, you have to be a certain percentage below poverty level. And so that stirred the fire up for me. And I had just completed my last chemo, and I started doing the research, and I decided to start an organization that could help all people, regardless of what your income level is. I was blessed to have family and friends that were able to help me with sustainable living needs with my rent mortgage. I mean, my rent, excuse me, my mortgage, because we help people with rent, mortgage, and utilities.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I'm
That's
on
great.
that right now.
That's
But
dope.
basically, my mortgage and my car note and just basic living expenses at that point.
Mhm.
So, as a result of that, like I said, I did my research and found out that there was limited funding for all people, not just, like I said, don't put people in a box. And so that's what fueled the fire up in me
Mm.
to want to give back to my community. We help women, and we also do help men. Breast cancer is our primary focus, and we help other cancer types as well.
Mm.
Unfortunately, we have a strong history of cancer in my family. My brother is a prostate and colon cancer survivor. My father, when he was living, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So lost a nephew to cancer as well.
Mm.
So it's very dear to my heart to be able to reach out and help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about you?
As far as for me wanting to get my organization started, I just felt the need that since God kept me here, I needed to continue to give back. So that's what I did. And yeah, it's kind of like how she said that you're looking for resources, but it's really limited to you. And I was a conversation leader with Susan G. Komen.
Mhm.
And after doing it so much, I was like, I can do this for myself, you know. So that's what I did. I branched off from them, and I formed Pink Punchers, and I was able to reach even more people. Because with Susan G. Komen, I had to go where they placed me.
Okay.
But for myself, I was going where I wanted to go and when I wanted to go. And it was just rewarding and fulfilling to be able to um, help more people as far as educating them through what I've, learned through my journey and whatnot. Because a lot of people, as we were talking about out there, go through it and don't want to tell nobody because they feel like they're a burden. So I kind of felt like I was a burden on my family. My family was very supportive, but I didn't want to bother people. So I know if I was feeling like that, it was other people out there feeling like that, that didn't have support. So I was going to chemo with other people and just kind of like trying to fill in the gaps for them as well. So that's what made me want to continue to do what I do as far as Pink Punchers. And I still do it to this day. And it's rewarding to
Yeah.
be able to help somebody through your journey. What they say, your test is your testimony.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's what fuels me to keep going.
Yeah, and it sounds like y'all both had that breaking point in some spaces, whether it was the motivation or from seeing the trials tribulations of not having the proper support. Like you were like, you know what, we're gonna step out of my comfort zone, which I talk about all the time. It's something that can hurt, but the rewards from it can be big. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
And then can we give a
Yeah, go
shout
ahead.
out to the moral support
Oh yeah,
in the back?
gotta
They
give
don't want to
them
get on the
a shout.
microphone.
They being
but
shy. Look,
can
they
we give them a shout
They
out?
think that they're not going to be on the microphone. Somebody gonna speak after this break. I know that.
Yeah, Tamika, you really should.
Yep, Tamika. Yeah, Tamika, you gonna be on the mic, and that Miss Board Member. What's your name, Miss Board Member again? Miss Charmaine will be on the mic too. So
Charmaine
yeah,
and
we had
Tamika, thank you so much for
Yeah.
for coming and
Yeah, that was
and
love.
joining us. They at least can see you on camera, so you can wave.
Yeah.
Just wave real quick. All right, cool.
All right. So for y'all organizations, Giving Circle and Pink Punchers, for the motto of just what I guess can you explain the unique power and motto of the Giving Circle and Pink Punchers? Like what are those mottos, and like I guess in the context of of breast cancer support, like how does those mottos that you have, how are they matching up to the mission that you're currently under right now?
Well, the model that we have when it comes to a giving circle is collective giving in the
Okay.
community.
Okay.
So we look to fund when we do our grants for the cancer patients. We look to be able to do collective giving. So that's our number one priority.
Okay.
So collective giving, like I said, is community. It can be you, all of us here in this room, family, friends, and what have you. So that's the collective giving part of it. We have also stepped outside of that and said community is involved as well.
Mhm.
Okay. And when I speak on that, it's corporations, foundations, things of that nature.
Mhm.
Our giving circle has not received any federal or state funding. It's all funded through either volunteers of their time, talents. It's not all monetary because we do need people to do the work.
Yeah.
So in order for us to be able to help those that are in need, we look at a community to say, how can we as a community help? And so we've helped several counties. Our target is southeastern Wisconsin, but the root of it is Milwaukee. That's the reason why we founded it. But then we've expanded over the time in the years. And so that's our main premise of a giving circle. It's collective giving within our communities and also incorporating foundations and corporations to help.
How about you? How's your motto match up with the type of work that you doing and the work that you want to do? Because I know you got a big vision.
For me, mine is more so the moral support, the phone calls, and like I said, the visiting cancer survivors or those going through it with chemo and stuff like that, and trying to help them like change their lifestyle so that they can continue and just learn their new lifestyle, because that's what it is. Because once you get it, it's a new lifestyle, it's a new way of life that you have to adapt to. And I do like events as far as like exercise and try to do stuff like that to keep them active, because you don't want to just sit and just not be active anymore, basically. So I do have an event coming up this weekend.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that too.
And I've done a lot of events in the past as far as Zumba, just cardio. I like to, like I said, that part as far as eating healthier and the movement of the body, because if you just sit, you lose a lot. You lose a lot. And then for me, I don't just promote in October. It's year round, because I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, it's breast cancer month. What are you doing? It's like, I do stuff every day. This is my life. This is what I do. It's monthly. It's not just October.
Right.
So, and I know that's when it's recognized in the calendar or whatever, but for us, this is something that's every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you feel like the lifestyle entails, especially exercising.
Yeah, because you gotta change a lot. Your eating habits, even stuff as simple as using microwave. Like I don't even own a microwave anymore. That type of stuff. And then like leaving your water bottles in the car with the, that the stuff is going inside and you're
BPA.
drinking it. Yeah. So
it's in receipts too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the what?
It's in receipts as well. Receipts, BPA.
Oh yeah.
BPA's and receipts. It's in canned goods.
It's in everything. So basically, it's just like you got to do a lot of reading and getting a lot of knowledge in and to give to other people.
Yeah. How much exercise do you encourage?
How much do I exercise?
Yeah.
I mean, how much exercise? They say at least a half hour a day. If
Okay.
you go to the mall, try to park far. Don't always try to get that close parking spot, because walking does do a lot.
Oh, back on me. Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. Hey, yeah, that's great. Yeah, for real. I seen one of your events that you did. Was that, I can't remember what it was, but it seemed like you had a bunch of people out doing some working out and walking and stuff like that. And I like seeing that incorporated in our city because it's needed. I was even laughing. I was at 7 Mile Fair this past weekend, and there was a guy walking through one of the lanes, and his wife was like, "I'm tired," and the guy, he had some locks, and he was like, "That's because you don't want to go nowhere." You know what I'm saying? And then me and the person I was with, we look at each other, and we was like, "Well, yeah, I mean," she was saying that her mom, her dad always tried to get her mom out. It's just important. You just got to get out. You got to take that extra step. I mean, for me, like I just got to get up and just run sometime, because just burning off some of that I don't know, I could always call it like them cancer building minerals that's inside the body that just you don't think you have it. And it's in your body. A lot of people just let it sit, stuff stack on their body, the inflammation, all the things that causes the cancers, because they don't see any way of getting out of the habits that they have already acquired, which is the eating. Or here in Milwaukee, we already know how we like to eat, drink, a little bit occasional, nicotine smoking or whatever they like to do, hookahs and all that. And then you go home and sit on that. You do that for months and months and months and months. You are going to accumulate something in your body that should be rejected, but your body might accept it. So
and you feel good after you work out.
Oh yeah, the endorphins is important.
Sometimes you feel like you can go some more.
What do you both make adjustments in nutrition? What is the focus?
So for me right now, I never ate pork or whatever. I don't eat beef. I'm trying to get off meat, period, because it's starting to kind of gross me out a little bit. But and trying to incorporate more greens into
Yeah.
the diet, because you are what you eat, really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
Gotcha.
everything that they're putting in our foods, all this other stuff is just fueling
Mhm.
the bad
Gotcha.
stuff.
Mm.
Let me also ask you, how did you advocate for yourself through the diagnosis and treatment process, working with your doctors and working with your primary healthcare physician at the time?
The oncologist social worker was very prevalent and very useful. Nurse navigators as well. First time I really didn't know what to expect. It's a lot of information. It's overwhelming.
Mhm.
So to be able to get, and I know one of the things they say, don't go on the internet,
Oh,
which I did.
Mhm.
I did go out
Which-
there.
hard,
which you
right?
broke that
It's
rule.
kinda hard, right?
Beforehand, but I went to a reputable site.
Gotcha.
I did.
And that's because you were trying to do your own
Because I
research.
wanted to make sure when I
Okay.
go in, I had some sufficient questions to
Yeah,
ask
some
because it's
base knowledge.
overwhelming. And I chose to go by myself. Family didn't want to go with me, but I wanted to go by myself.
Mhm.
But yeah, basically the nurse navigator and oncology social workers really helped me even from the nutrition and diet and nutrition
Okay.
while I was going through my process,
Mhm.
and explaining to me what to watch for with the side effects and things of that nature. So that's how I was able to find out that I was coming down with the congestive heart failure because living by myself at the time,
Mhm.
the gurgling and all of that, had I not paid attention. So really paying attention to your body,
Wow.
even if you're not diagnosed with cancer, but just being proactive, doing the breast health, like you said, breast cancer month awareness is the month of October, but it's year round for
Mhm.
us. So being more aware of your body, going through the journey, and then also making sure that you communicate and ask questions in the
Yeah.
process is real important.
Yeah.
I think my oncologist got sick of me because I was calling all the time. I'm like,
Hey,
okay, so
you had
my
to.
fingers are shaking. What does that mean? Like I was
Mhm.
calling for everything
Mhm.
Okay.
because it's new. It's something that you've never been through. And, so of course you got questions and you have to advocate for yourself because you go to the doctor. A lot of times we go to the doctor and something's bothering us. By the time you get there, you forgot. I always tell people, write it down.
Yeah.
So you remember, because just like with the car, you take the car to the shop, it
Mhm.
don't make that sound no more. So you don't remember it. So always write it down, whatever it is that you have going on before you go to the doctor. So you remember.
That's a good point.
I asked my my cousin last week when we had her on. I said, "Do you see a lot of women how we see?" And we talking about with the men, like they just
Mhm.
avoid the doctor. And I know it's even common in our age group, in our latter 30s or 35 to 44-year-old group that I'm in now. Do you see a lot of women ducking the doctor in this space, and not just because of the breast cancer, but just wanting to go through the mammogram process and etc.? Has that been something too? Because she said absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being out in the community, for different types of health fairs and things of that nature, you have people come up and just say, "Hey, I've never had a mammogram," and they may be close to my age. So yeah, it's unfortunately a lot of people, and try to encourage them to go and explain to them the importance of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's due to not having insurance, or then a lot of people that I've come across, they say they're afraid. It's like,
Because of the cost
yep.
of the health bill that will
Yep.
come with them
Yep.
trying to prioritize their own health.
And then it's the whole mammograms hurt. And, I get that a lot of people saying that mammograms hurt. I
Yeah.
don't think I can stay on the air without tell them, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a big fear when it comes to
Well,
that.
tell them in
Yeah.
a translate that, because they might need to hear it
So
now.
the mammogram, it just squeezes you for a minute. But I tell them, if you can allow your partner
To squeeze.
to,
Yeah.
do the things that they do, you should be able to go stand there for them 30, 40 seconds.
I knew that was it. I knew that was it. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's facts.
Yeah, and the thing with brothers, like, we know all the things about sports. We know all the things when it comes to Sunday football. And we will sit down on that couch and make sure we checking out the game. If you could do that,
Mm-hmm.
you could sit through a doctor's appointment,
Yeah.
an annual physical.
No, that's real. Yeah. It's real. And hear the things
A colonoscopy.
yeah. You want to hear the harsh things in other spaces, but when it comes to your body, we kind of avoid it. It's just, I know, like I said last week, you go to the doctor, you just got to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at every little thing, do your own research to understand it. You don't want to just, hey, I got my checks and just kind of let it fall off. Some people don't follow through.
Yeah, because if you're not going to the doctor, whatever's going on is just getting worse and worse, and you could
Yeah.
have prevented it. So
Yeah.
I've seen a lot where folks that do get diagnosed, they feel the burden to go through that journey alone and not tell their family or not feel like they need to tell their friends. How do you navigate that? Because a lot of times families then find resentment that their family member kind of left them out. And it's a personal decision,
Mhm.
right? That we got to keep into context and perspective. But what encouragement do you have for folks that, like, we all know someone that has dealt with cancer before and diagnosis before and the treatment end, and or we've done it ourselves. But how do we navigate that? Because that sometimes creates a lot of strain in families.
Great question.
And you guys have obviously done that too.
Ooh, should we do a question after break? Is it break time? My bad.
We're
That's a
close
great-
to break.
Are we close? We good?
Yeah.
Okay. Right now?
Okay. So
Okay.
when we come back,
Great question. David just hit y'all with a long good one.
when we
Look,
return,
I heard the process.
you get
I see
the
the
answer.
processes between y'all. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. We go ahead and take a break and we come back with that great question from David. Be a Voice Radio Wisconsin Voices alongside Cynthia Kashima. See y'all in a second. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices in our fourth quarter crunch. Just want to make sure our shouting out Miss Cynthia Hooker, Miss Kashima Jackson, breast cancer advocates.
Jackson.
Oh, Johnson. I'm sorry. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Johnson. I don't know where Jackson came from. I don't know.
Oh.
Kashima Johnson. Sorry. Don't beat me up. All right. I know all your kids. They don't play either. All right. So yes, and I also want to shout out Miss Anita Martin down in Kenosha celebrating her birthday this past weekend as well. So shout out to you. God bless you as well. Hope you had a great birthday weekend for sure. Back to Mr. David Bowen and the wonderful ladies on the panel.
Yeah, I know it's a kind of puzzling question, but just give us some insight of how do you encourage families to work through the dynamics that come with a loved one, a family member that's dealing with their own diagnosis, and whether they want to bring you in or if they want to handle that alone.
For me, I've had a few people that just spoke to me and didn't tell their family at all. And like we said, it's their personal choice. Sometimes it's more, I feel like it was more overwhelming for them to have their family be a part of it because they didn't want to see their family seeing them like that. And they, some people are like the strong person in their family.
That's right.
So they might have looked at that as a sense of weakness to some, to tell their family. So a lot of people, like I said, it's their personal choice. And I didn't push them to say, hey, you need to tell, because again, it's their personal choice. And stress is dealing with that and having to have that thought of what if I tell so-and-so and then they're going to tell so-and-so. And sometimes you just rely on that one person and that person leaks it to somebody else. So then that's a whole nother situation. So
Sure.
my way of thinking that they were keeping it to themselves is because it's less stress for them.
Gotcha.
And again, it's their personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
So the family member that find out at the end of everything, that's something that they kind of got to have to sit with because they don't know for what reason that person chose to keep it to themselves.
Very good point.
That's real.
And I agree with that. It is an individual, personal choice. I think confiding in whomever you choose when that time is right, just letting them know the reason why that is. Like you said, that's stress. That's undue stress you don't need, especially being recently diagnosed with breast cancer or any cancer for that matter. But yeah, to be respectful about it and be selective as to who you choose and when you choose to share. And hopefully that person will understand in that process and just be transparent and honest.
Yeah.
About where you're at.
Yeah. Very powerful. Thank you for highlighting that. And we're already at the end of the show, but we want to give you guys time to shout out the things that your organizations are working on or things the community should know about.
You can go first because yours coming.
Well, okay. Well, this Wednesday, excuse me, organization Milwaukee Burgers for Wisconsin in Franklin is hosting a third-party event for us.
Oh, very cool.
They've been fundraising for us the full month, so people want to come on out. That's in Franklin. I don't have the address on me right now.
You said Milwaukee Burgers?
Yeah, it's Milwaukee Burgers.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they're fundraising for
I know
us.
they got like a 4.4 rating. They're supposed to be pretty decent.
I tried them for the first time last week.
You
Very
like
good.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like them.
Cool.
So
I'll have to pull up.
so I encourage you all to come on out and support us with that. And then every year in June, we host our annual fundraiser. So watch on our website,
Okay.
Which is cbcgc.org.
Okay.
And you can kind of see what we're doing in the community as well.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And after her event, I'm having one on Saturday, this coming Saturday. It's a line dancing event to help raise money for somebody that's going through breast cancer. And if anybody knows somebody that is going through, please feel free to inbox me because I'm doing a drawing because some of the proceeds will go to them to help them with a bill or two. And like I said, it's line dancing. So if you want to grab your boots and come on out, it's going to be on 32nd and Brown at the Missing Piece. And there will be vendors, and I do have vendor space available. And Bryan will post the link for you to get your tickets. Tickets are only $10.
Yeah, we can highlight both of those events
definitely.
on our socials.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely
Appreciate
will do. Now, real quick, do you want to say hi real quick? You want to say anything? We don't got to look. No? Okay. You can do. All right. We're going to get you.
They already waved at the camera, so
all
they're
right.
good. They're
Trying to get
Make sure you get tested.
Yeah.
Get your mammograms.
Yes, and do your breast self-exams
Yes.
as well, please.
Thank you.
Those
It's
go
okay to
hand
touch
in hand.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Appreciate that. Well,
It's been a great show.
looks like we had
Appreciate you
another
guys
great
coming
show.
in. And
Thank you for having me.
the legend, D'Angelo, recently passed away. And He passed away after a long battle of pancreatic cancer, I believe.
Yeah.
And wanted to close on a D'Angelo note. Can't go bad on a D'Angelo note. So thankful for his life. And we'll see you all tomorrow on Be a Voice Radio.